What's up, reefers? Welcome back to Ash's channel and to my 150-gallon mixed reef. In today's episode, we will discuss miracle mud and how I add it to my sump. So without further ado, let's just jump into the world of miracles. So I'll be adding around 20 pounds of miracle mud to my system, and from here on I will document the progress on the system overall and see what difference it has made to my system. I'm pretty much well versed with all my corals and invertebrates and everything, the overall system, but I'm really keen to know the benefits it brings to your system, and nothing better than a natural way of letting the fauna grow in your sump, in your refugium, which eventually will be transferred slowly and steadily through your flow to your main display for your corals and invertebrates and fishes to eat. Before I begin editing my comprehensive video, let's just check out the background of how the miracle mud came into existence.
Behind the ecosystem miracle mud method is simple: a foolproof aquarium filtration system modeled on Mother Nature. It's the result of a 10 years quest by one aquarist who wanted to provide both his fish and corals with the best possible environment. And as with most major inventions, necessity was the catalyst behind the creation of something wonderful. In 1989, inventor Lang Si found himself frustrated with the filters and aquarium setups commercially available at the time. Despite all of his best efforts, he couldn't succeed at keeping his fish and corals healthy. After experiencing numerous failures with his own aquariums, Lang resolved to find a better way. Inspired by nature and the principles of ecology, Lang sought to develop a comprehensive system that would produce ideal aquatic conditions for both fish and corals. With environment and nutrition in mind, Lang created the Ecosystem Miracle Mud Method. From 1989 to 1996, he developed and tested his innovative approach to aquarium keeping. Through extensive experimentation, Lang developed Miracle Mud, a special substrate that functions as a filtering medium, a refugium substrate, and a water enrichment base. The unique composition of Miracle Mud enables it to simultaneously remove toxins while enriching the water column with minerals and trace elements. This produces an ideal aquatic environment in which both fish and corals thrive. Only after proving to himself the viability of his invention did Lang share his method with other aquarists, founding the Ecosystem Aquarium Company in 1997. In the years that followed, a multitude of hobbyists throughout the world have enjoyed aquarium success using Lang's Ecosystem Miracle Mud Method.
So the miracle mud is comprised of 80% oceanic mud harvested from the deep waters in the ocean and then dried on the land. The remaining 20% formulation is all sorts of minerals and trace elements that combined makes it as miracle as over the period of year and 12 months to 15 months it releases the trace elements that your corals will enjoy. The benefits of miracle mud is it reverses the HLLE disease in angels and a lot of other fishes. It provides a very healthy environment for your tank and corals. At the back of the bag you will see all the instructions on how many gallons of water you have and how much miracle mud you would need, and all sorts of information. What I will do is I will also provide a link to the Ecosystem's website down in the description below for further information. So I'm going to be using the dollar store Tupperware containers, which are 2-inch thick. The miracle mud is supposed to be 1.5 inches, so this should be perfect for my refugium. And I'm adding 20 pounds today, so let's see how these containers will be, I'm pretty sure, more than enough to go into my refugium. As per ecosystems, you need to replenish 50% of the miracle mud once you add to your system every 15 months, between 12 months to 15 months. So as you can see, my refugium is pretty much live rock with Cheeto. Let me just turn the lights on so that will give you a better idea. So as you can see, the refugium has no sand whatsoever right now, just a little bit of color pile, Kato, and rubble of live rock. So I'll be moving that live rock on one side and adding 2 trays of the miracle mud right besides each other. So as you can see, the 2 containers were perfect for 20 pounds of miracle mud. The best time and method to add miracle mud to your refugium is when you're about to perform your water changes. When you're about to do the water change, take the water that you will be removing it from your tank in a jar, and then gently pour the water over the sand into the container. Just make sure that it's very gentle, so you do not kind of make a mess. And then the idea behind the sand to get it soaked is to reduce the impact of the dust that it creates when you add the container with the sand to your refugium. So once it's soaked into the water, it kind of helps in controlling the dust going into your main display. And as you can see, both my Tupperware containers, the sand has been pretty much soaked, and I will let it sit there until I do my water change and remove the water from my refugium. Once the water level drops, that's when I will gradually add the container with the sand or with the miracle mud to my refugium. So as you guys can see, I have moved the live rock rubble along with the Cheeto on one side of the refugium, making room for the 2 trays of miracle mud. As per ecosystems calculation, I need an overall 30 pounds of miracle mud. Since my system is 225 gallon and I need a 36 gallon refugium, which coincidentally works for me as well because my refugium is 36 gallon. So I have added the 2 trays. Now you guys might be wondering, why do I have that lid on top of the container covering the miracle mud? That's because you do not want to leave it open when you are adding the container down, because it will release a lot of dust. So that's what I tried to control as well. But you now gotta be very careful opening the lid, because there are air pockets. Now here is a very cool trick that I think works for majority of the applications when you're using Tupperware. The idea is to be very careful opening up the lid because of the air pockets releasing the air. So you place Cheeto on top of the container, so all the dust that eventually comes out with the air pockets being coming to the surface will be kind of held close to the bottom of the refugium or to the tray. So you open the lid, then close, open the lid, then close. Do it maybe 2 to 5 times, a couple of times, based on how much air or what size of container you are using. And once all the air is released, then you can gradually remove the cover from the Tupperware. The idea, more than the dust, the idea is to do as clean job as possible and try to keep as much miracle mud as possible in that tray, rather than spilling around your refugium. So it helps when you are changing or replenishing down the road. So here it is, my lid is out of the refugium, and both my miracle mud trays are now sitting in my refugium with the Cheeto on top of it still, just to content any dust that's still floating around. So here it is, guys, both the trays of Miracle Mud have been added to my refugium, and here is my Miracle Mud ocean bed in my refugium. In another 2 to 3 months, I'll be adding another 20 pounds of the Miracle Mud in 2 different trays and somehow be able to stack on the existing ones. For those of you who stayed till the very end to watch this video, here is the eye candy. I hope this video has been helpful. If you guys like the video, please do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Until next video, happy reefing.